News at 10 starts now.
Actually, I don't know if I should thank you or not, but God bless you and have God in your soul.
We are hearing from a suspect in a violent murder in Scottsdale. 12 news cameras were rolling as the man was booked into jail on a first-degree murder charge, accused of killing a man who invited him into his home because he had nowhere else to go. Thanks for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Troy Hayden. 12 News journalist Gabriella Becerra in studio with developments on this strange case. Gabby.
Well, Troy, one thing Scottsdale police haven't really shared with us yet is a motive. Matthew Derringer is accused of brutally killing a man who had taken him into his home and given him a place to stay when he didn't have one. We've learned the victim, Frank Quaranta, was a volunteer at a Phoenix church cooling center and always helped those in need. His colleagues there are the ones who called the police for help last Monday. The man accused of a violent murder in Scottsdale was dropped off at Maricopa County Jail 6 days after police began looking for him, wearing only a white jumpsuit after his clothes were confiscated for forensic evidence.
It's a tragic situation all around. We are grateful for the community to come together and help us put Matthew under arrest.
35-year-old Matthew Derringer isn't staying quiet.
I also believe that.
Sir, my turn.
Yes.
Telling a judge the accusations against him are false.
I believe that you are being given wrong information about me entirely and my name, and that these proceedings are illegal, and that there is no truth to what that woman or that system is giving you.
According to police, 67-year-old Frank Quaranta was found dead in his home near 68th Street and McDowell Road on September 1st after he didn't show up to work at a church cooling center. That's where he had reportedly met Derringer months before.
Frank was really just trying to be a good person and letting Matthew stay with him since he was homeless at the time.
Were there any previous calls for service, for help from Frank about this relationship?
No, there were no previous calls, but we do know that people at the Homeless Outreach Center were concerned about Matthew staying with him.
Police say no weapons were found in the home, but there were obvious signs of blunt force trauma.
This was a very violent and horrific murder.
Derringer was arrested in Phoenix after a man recognized his picture shared on the news.
We believe that he is an extremely dangerous individual.
But Derringer denies they have the right person.
Thank you. Sir, tell me your full name.
You stated my name as Matthew Derringer.
The judge ordered he be held on a $2 million cash bond.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you. Actually, I don't know if I should thank you or not, but God bless you and have God in your soul.
And Scottsdale police say Derringer also had a probation violation arrest warrant for a case out of Maricopa County. And they were also aware of a prior conviction out of Colorado where Derringer was found guilty of killing his roommate's dogs. He'll be back in court later this week, so stay with 12 News for updates. Troy.
And again, all this victim did was invite him into his home, allegedly, correct?
That's right, and they say that's just the kind of person he is, very helpful to anyone who needs it.
All right, Gabriella, thank you for the report. We have some late breaking news. A 1-year-old boy reportedly kidnapped at knife point in LA County has been found in northern Arizona. DPS says earlier this afternoon, officials in California reported that child was taken from his mother at a Target in the city of Industry by his father and grandparents. The incident triggered an Amber Alert there in LA County. So troopers located the child here in Arizona, and the alert was canceled about an hour ago. We hope to have more on this in later editions of 12 News tomorrow. A person killed when a suspected drunk driver runs a red light overnight, causing a 3-car crash. Tempe police say the driver didn't stop at University and Rural Roads, hit another car, and then that caused a 3rd car to also be hit. But man, look at the wreckage there. The driver then crashed into an Einstein's bagel shop nearby. Again, 1 person was killed in this. 3 were taken to the hospital. Police arrested the driver who they say caused the crash for driving under the influence and several other serious charges. Update on a deadly crash in North Phoenix that closed a section of State Route 74, the Carefree Highway, for several hours. A driver heading west on that highway crossed into oncoming traffic trying to pass another car, and instead that driver lost control and crashed head-on into a car going the opposite direction. The driver of that car was killed. Officials do not believe impairment was a factor. There's no word on, at this point, whether or not that driver will face any charges related to this crash. Police are looking for a suspect in a shooting that left a man dead in South Phoenix last night. Happened about 7:20 near 7th Street in Rozier. 43-year-old Antonio Trujillo had died by the time crews got to the scene. If you have any information on that shooting, you're asked to call Phoenix Police or Silent Witness, and that number is witness. Rollover crash involving 2 cars in Mesa. This happened near Ridgecrest and McDowell Roads. 1 person taken to the hospital with injuries, not life-threatening, but again, it looks like this is another head-on collision with a lot of damage. Multiple rescues on Camelback Mountain today. This afternoon, rescue crews were called to the Cholla Trailhead on the east side of the mountain after a hiker was having issues because of the heat. The woman was taken off the trail using a big wheel stretcher, then taken to the hospital. The second rescue also on Camelback Mountain, but this is the Echo Canyon Trailhead. That's on the west side of the mountain. The male hiker involved here was also having heat-related issues. He was taken off the trail and to the hospital. So no extreme heat warnings right now, but it is still hot out there, Chris, and you got to watch yourself when you're out there hiking for sure.
Yeah, and even if it barely edges above 100, we have a little extra humidity out there, and that counts for something, but the heat can take a toll on you, even if it's 100 or 96 degrees. That's where we are right now. 63-degree dew point, and that makes a difference right there. Our relative humidity, that number doesn't look that impressive, but if you know about the dew point, and I hope you do, anything above about 50 to 55, we really start to feel it. So a 63-degree dew point here in the desert, that is humid. But I want to tell you this, we do have a significant weather pattern on a change on the way, and that is most likely going to do away with what little monsoon action we had this year. This could be the very end of the monsoon. A dry, breezy pattern blasting in here Wednesday and Thursday, and we get kind of a glancing blow of some cooler air. We'll put quotes around that, cooler air. That means highs for the valley just below 100 degrees, but morning lows will dip down into the 70s. We're talking about lows in the 40s, low 40s for the Flagstaff area. So for the time being, still a bit humid out there. 104 tomorrow. Just limited rain, only isolated mountain showers in the forecast this week. Our trend, that drier air moving in with breezy days on the way. A look at your 7-day forecast is coming up. Troy?
All right, Chris, see you in a few minutes. Arizona's gambling industry is booming these days, and younger players are making more and more bets. Since event wagering in fantasy sports was legalized back in 2021, wagers have jumped from $4.5 billion to more than $7 billion. And with more money being bet, more Arizonans are seeking help with their gambling and possible addictions. Addiction programs have seen their number of clients over the last 4 years double, and that's according to the Arizona Department of Gaming.
Seeing kids as young as 8 who have had some exposure to gamblers. So it's becoming younger and younger, the exposure, and that's why it's really important for parents also to get involved and talk to their kids about the risks and the dangers of gambling, because even in video games, there can be some sorts of gambling.
So the Department of Gaming says if you start to feel like gambling is disrupting your life or your finances, your mental health, it's a sign you might want to reach out for some help. If you grew up in the Valley, chances are you may have stepped foot into an iconic Fry's electronics store in West Phoenix. Well, it is now being torn down. The city of Phoenix announced it's going to be demolished this month, but some fans were able to take souvenirs with them. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly shows us.
End of an era.
For 2 decades, this Fry's Electronics was the go-to spot for those in the North Valley.
Getting new parts for your first PC, or back when we still had tube TVs.
Taylor Watson, who grew up in Phoenix, says coming here was always a special treat.
When I was like 11 or 12, excited to go inside and spend my Christmas money.
What really made it special, the design of the store, modeled to look like an Aztec temple inside and out.
Running up those slanted walls you see there, and I would do that almost every time.
It was kind of amazing that you had this quirky, almost kitschy type vibe to the Fry's Electronics, and they had no reason that they had to do that.
Local architect Wesley James, also a frequent shopper here.
We used to go there all the time. The nostalgia I personally have for it, and a lot of people have for those stores, is staggering.
Now those memories are all they have left. In 2021, the store closed, along with every other Fry's Electronics. The inside of it now, empty, with flooded floors, banners falling off of walls, display signs still hanging from the ceiling, and promo posters. It's like taking a step through time, but even this is coming to an end.
I know it's about to be gone in just a matter of days here.
The city of Phoenix, who owns the building, announced they are tearing down the temple, but a fortunate few, like James, were able to take a little bit of that nostalgia.
Here's the actual snake we got. I think it was absolutely gigantic.
Some leftover displays that have been sitting inside the closed store for years were up for auction.
We were lucky enough to get the snake sculpture And then we got 3 palm trees, which they actually crazily made out of real palm trees and palm fronds and sealed them. And we got several of the chandeliers that were on site.
Being an architect that helps design the look for new restaurants and bars, James plans on using these pieces for upcoming projects to keep a little bit of the beloved store alive.
Man, it seemed like a really great opportunity to try to get something that was part of Phoenix history.
So what's going to happen next to this huge plot of land after all these walls come crashing down? The city of Phoenix tells us this will eventually become a police department precinct as well as a future fire station.
We're actually thrilled. As soon as we found out about it, we were excited.
A welcome change for Scott Brown, who lives right across the street, saying since it closed, it became known for drug use, dumping trash, and other problems.
Constantly theft going on here. We actually worked with the city to get a lot of the fencing up around here and the security to try and help clean up the area.
Still, he and so many others say this part of town will never be the same with a slice of Phoenix history gone.
I do miss the store.
It's really difficult to see it disappear after so long. It's not going to be the end of the world, but it still feels like saying goodbye to family.
In Phoenix, Chase Golightly, 12 News.
Yeah, all those malls, all those big box stores, they're just going away, aren't they, Lena? You're saying I used to love to shop at those Fry's Electronics store. There's so much stuff in there. All right, thank you, Chase.